naomba tu your cooperation, and I'm sure by the end of the topic utakuwa at least umepata one or two things, lakini zaidi ya yote ukuwe health conscious sama. Ukuwe at least health conscious, tuache kukula for just eating, but we eat from a point of understanding. Yes. So nitakuwa too brief because of time. Basically naweza taka tu tuangalie just a few things about nutrition. As you know, we are what we eat. Yes, but sometimes it's not haiwezi ukajua the nutrition of a person kwa kuangalia tu, si ndio? Yes, but there is sometime utafika uone mwili wako unakuambia there is something you are doing wrong, si ndio? Yeah, so basically naweza taka kuanzisha by just understanding the basic things about food. Basically naweza tu uliza, naomba an interactive session. When you hear about nutrition, ni nini huwa inakuja kwa akili yako?
Balanced diet.
Balanced diet, Sawa. Yes, my brother.
Chakula ile naweza kula inisaidie kwa mwili.
Chakula ile anaweza kula umsaidie kwa mwili, si ndio? Sawa. Maybe leo naweza wafungua macho kidogo ama? Yes. So when you talk about nutrition, basically we are talking about food. And food is made up of what? Nutrients, si ndio? Tukisema mchele na nyama, they are food, si ndio? If you eat everything, utasikia umeshiba. But what makes meat different from rice? Ni nini? Ni nutrients, si ndio? Basically when you talk about food, mostly we are talking about nutrients, ambayo is the building blocks of food, si ndio? So basically today we can understand the nutrients kidogo, si ndio? Yes. Actually, when you divide food in terms of nutrients, we have around 5 groups. One of them, the food groups, carbohydrates, then proteins, vitamins, minerals, fats. You are all right. So hapo tutaenda kama tumepita, si ndio? There is one tunaacha hapa, water, si ndio? It's not a nutrient, but it is very important for the functioning of all. Si ndio? Your body is a bigger percent water, right? Yes. So basically, you napitia the functions of carbohydrates. Energy, si ndio? Why energy, or energy for what? Even breathing you need energy, right? Yeah. So for your brain to function well, for your, even when you eat, that digestion, absorption requires what? Energy, si ndio? And it's the main food groups. Then the proteins, the main thing is bodybuilding, right? Yes, your flesh or your muscles. See, this is protein, Yes. Then also immunity. Yeah, the likes of immunity. And also, it gives energy when you don't eat carbohydrates, right? Yes. It gives energy when you don't eat carbohydrates. That's why you see, tuseme ujakula for 3 days, ndio? Ama you are fasting for a week. What will happen to you? See, you lose weight. Ama unaona you've started to emaciate. Why? Because haujakula the carbohydrates, right? So your body is using the protein to release energy, sindio? So your muscles zinakuwa broken down, yeah, to release energy. That's why you slim. Ama if you look at your skin inakaa kama you've seen a very big person ame lose, sindio? And they are young, anakaa kama akona wrinkles. Kwa nini? Because the muscles zimeisha. So mostly he has the skin and the bone and a little fat. Sindio? So we will not go very much into the details. Fat, the main thing is energy, right? Yes. I know there are so many theories about fat, but it is important. What matters is the type and the amount, right? Yes, so when you look at energy, we measure energy in units called kilocalories. I'm sure you've heard calories. Mara mingi, sindio? Yeah, for example, this provides protein 4, carbohydrates 9. That means if you eat 1 gram of carbohydrates, you get 4 calories. Protein the same, but what about when you eat fat? 9. You see, it's more than double. That's why tunasema upunguza nini? Mafuta. Because even the small amount you eat, it will give you much calories. Yes, and then another thing, carbohydrates, these are the white things. Sindio? Hapo tunaelewa. The cereals, ugali, bread, the tubers, the likes of ngwashe, ndoma and such. If you eat, it will be digested to what? To glucose, right? Your cells, they need to use energy in terms of what? Glucose, sindio? So what happens, glucose is stored in the liver or in your muscles, so that even when you have not eaten, you still have energy, sindio? It is because of what you ate yesterday, sindio? It was stored, that's why you still have energy. What about if the body has already stored what you need, but there's still more glucose in your blood? It is converted to what? To fat. You get? Yes, it's converted to fat. Sindio? That's why tunasema the carbs, they make you add weight. Why? Because the end product of the carbohydrates is fat. Yeah. So that's why if you don't eat this one, you'll still get fat. Sindio? So even if you remove it in your diet, you will still get it from the carbohydrates. Okay, these ones, the 3 of them, they are known as macronutrients. And these ones, they are known as micro. Meaning the macronutrients, you need them in the body in large amounts. Yeah? And the micro in small amounts. But doesn't mean that because they are in small amounts, they are not important. Sindio? For example, there's a mineral called iron. Sindio? You just need a small amount, but if you don't get it, you get what? Anemia. Sindio? Yes. And then on the other hand, these ones mostly they come from fruits, and it doesn't mean haziko huku, but in plenty ziko wapi? In a good number ziko kwa vitamins. Why we are saying it's a macronutrients, they are micronutrients, and the other one's macro. Is there anybody who can, unless you are fasting, but if you are eating normally, can you spend a day without eating carbohydrates? Can you? You can't. Let me just tell you, because in the morning you eat mandazi na ama mkate na chai, sindio? Then you eat a protein, maybe eggs and a fruit, sindio? Lunch, rice, beans and such, sindio? Supper, ugali. What does it tell you? You cannot spend a day without a carbohydrate, but you can spend a day without vegetables or fruits. So that's what we do in a typical Kenyan society. Sindio? Yeah, that's why they are micronutrients. Sindio? So basically, I can just show you how you can distribute them in a day, if you want to know whether you are eating healthy. So I may not go into details of this because there are many, the vitamins and minerals and also time, right? In your diet, they should be distributed like this. These are carbs, proteins, and fat. You get? Meaning from your diet, vile tumeona, around 55 to 60% of your food ni nini? Ni carbohydrates. Then 15% ni protein in terms of energy. and then 30% is fat, si ndio? Kwa nini inakuja juu hivi? It is because it's just a small amount, lakini inaleta a lot of energy, si ndio? So si ati ni mingi. In terms of quantity, unaweza pata just a small amount can give you 30%. Basically, this is a food pyramid. Yeah? This is just a simple guide to show you how you should distribute your carbohydrates, your proteins, and your fats. Ndio? Yes. Hapa chini, we have, okay, before that, mnaona inaenda ikikua ndogo as we go up. Yeah? So it means if your food pyramid is not balanced, there's a problem somewhere. Ndio? Yes. So 6 to 8 glasses of water every day. This is pure water. Ndio? Why do we need water? Detoxification. You agree with him? You need water to remove toxins. Yes, because mostly we remove some toxins through urine. Ndio? We know of that theory, the more you take water, the more you go to urinate. Ndio? If your urine is very concentrated and it's yellow in color, what does it tell you? Ama even if you feel there's a burning sensation wakati you are going for a short call, inakuonyesha haukunywi maji, si ndio? Si ndio? But if your urine is getting clearer, you do what? It means you are removing toxins, si ndio? Yes, lakini kwa nini tuweke 6 to 8 glasses? Kwa nini tuseme hata ukunywe 20? Because you know the minerals are water soluble, si ndio? And some vitamins, there are 2 water soluble vitamins, vitamin C and vitamin B, the B complex, B1 to B12. So if you take again more water, you lose what? If you've ever tested your urine, and I know you have, it's salty, si ndio? Kwa nini? Because those are minerals, si ndio? And of course it removes excess, but if you keep on taking a lot of water, you dilute your urine and you start losing what? Your sodium, your magnesium, your potassium, si ndio? And some of them, like potassium, they are very important for the heart, si ndio? Sodium tunasema tupunguze ndio, but if it goes so down, it brings what? Low blood pressure, si ndio? Yeah. So 6 to 8 glasses of water per day. Then this is where you have your carbohydrates. We say 6 to 11 servings per day. So kama uko na weight issues, unaanzia hapa, si ndio? 6, 7 hapo. But if you are sick, tuseme you are sick, ama you are expectant and such, you use huku juu 11, si ndio? Yes. So, how do you know one serving? We have 2 types. As we use a standard measure of half a cup. You see half a cup? That's a standard measure of half a cup of, you see the normal cup, ile 250 grams. Half of it is 1. We approximate. But there is another method we used to use kitambo by using your fist. Sindio? Of course, if you see my size, my nutritional requirements are not the same like you. Sindio? Some people are tall, some are big. Sindio? So you use the size of your fist. No? This is 1 serving. You get? Are we in agreement? Yes, now the problem comes because we can only use estimations, right? We can only use estimations. Yeah, so anything, carbohydrate, cereal, bread, 1 slice is 1 serving. It's very high in energy, bread, the bread you love taking. Yes. So we say 6 to 11 approximately, sindio? So kama uko na weight issues, unakuja wapi? Huku chini, sindio? If you have high or you want to add weight, ama you naenda huku 6, as in 9, 10, 11, sindio? And especially if you are sick, because you need extra energy. Then tukuja kwa vegetables, we say 3 to 5 servings. This is 2 to 4. So vegetables, we say 3 to 5 servings. And we use the same, a half a cup is 1 serving of vegetables. Regardless kama ni cabbage, ama ni zile umemix, do cucumber, carrot, or what. You use the standard measure of half a cup is 1 serving. So, yes, but there's a theory, you see that we used to call it the Zimbabwean hand jive. When you use your hand, you say, we've said it's a fist, but for vegetables, you use both hands. We say, hapa hakuna restrictions. You can eat as much as your hands can hold, yeah? Your palms. Okay, about vegetables, they are very low in energy. Sindio? I can give you an example. If you eat 1 serving of these carbohydrates, you get 80 kilocalories. You get? If you eat the same serving of vegetables, you get 25 kilocalories. Sindio? So this means hauwezi ongeza weight, because weight is determined by calories, ama energy. Sindio? So even if you eat much, you can't add weight, but you will get a lot of vitamins and minerals and also fiber. Sindio? See, fiber is very important in this case. So this one you eat as much as your hands can hold. Sindio? Make sure every day at least 3 to 5 servings. See, you can distribute them. Then we go to fruits, 2 to 4 servings. Sindio? Do we meet that? 2 to 4 servings of fruits a day? Do we? Matunda ni 2 ama 2 to 4. Sindio? That's the recommended. Yes. Remember this is just a standard way. Sawa? A standard way kuonyesha you are eating healthy. So in a day you need around 2 to 4 servings. Make use of variety. If you eat mangoes today, tomorrow, change. Sindio? Because, for example, watermelon is very rich in vitamin A. A mango is rich in vitamin C. So at least you get all the nutrients. Then we have plant and animal proteins, we have 2 to 4 servings. So this one we use the size of your palm. You see, when you remove the fingers, the palm is 1 serving. Or if it's eggs, it is 1. No. 1 egg is 1 serving. Sindio? Yes, so you need 2 to 4. I mean, si lazima ukule ati zote. Sindio? Either plant protein or animal protein, at least get 2 servings a day. Sindio? What's the difference between plant and animal proteins? In fact, all animal products are animal proteins. Sindio? The plant proteins need the legumes, the beans, kamande, jahe, dengu. Those zikiwa dry, sawa? If they are green, they are vegetables. Tuelewane? Zikiwa mbichi, they are vegetables. But when they dry, that's when they become proteins. The chemical composition changes. So what's the difference between plant and animal proteins? In that, if I eat meat the same amount as the person who eats beans, did we get the same quality? Kwa nini tugawanyisha tungeweka tu proteins? Sindio? Animal protein is of a better quality than plant proteins. Why? Because proteins are made up of things called amino acids. So you know carbohydrates is made up of glucose. Sindio? It's many glucose molecules. They come together to make a carbohydrate. The same amino acids make proteins. Sindio? Yeah, so we have 2 types of amino acids. There is the one that the body can produce, but there is another group that you must get in food. Sawa sawa. So meat is a complete proteins, ndio. Let's say they are around 12 amino acids. Meat has all of them. You get? So kwa beans inaweza kuwa na 8, dengu ikuwe na 6, jahe maybe ikuwe na 9. Ndio mnasema it's a strong protein, ndio. The only plant that has all of them is soya. Sawa? Soya tu ndio equivalent of meat, ndio. So in terms of quality, meat ndio inakupea better nutrients. Another thing in terms of waste, you see the nitrogenous waste. Mmesikia the waste products from protein ndio inaleta magonjwa kama gout, arthritis, sijui cancer, you see? And most of it is released through the kidneys, ndio, urine. So the animal protein, the waste is low. Sawa. The nitrogenous waste is low and this is very high. Ndio. So watu wale wako na kidney issues tunawakatazanga hizi. Ndio. Because their waste is very high and the kidney is weak. It cannot produce. Ndio. Tuseme the capacity of the kidney is 30%. Ndio. And then unaipea a lot of plant proteins. What will happen? Haiwezi kutoa. Ndio. Yeah, that's the only difference in terms of quality. Ndio. The only advantage of plant protein is fiber. Sawa? Because the outer cover ya mbosho, dengu na nini, it has fiber. Ndio. So if you want to be safe, you do what? You interchange. Ndio. Then lastly we have fats, oil and sugar. This one you use sparingly. Sparingly means even if you don't eat it in a day, you are safe. Why? Because these carbohydrates, remember it will be digested to glucose. So that is sugar. Then excess glucose will be converted to fat. Then the easy animal protein, of course the meat has some fat. When you come to also the plant protein, they have a very small amount of fat. So this one you use sparingly. Maybe I can take one.
Upande wa mboga unaweza changanya mboga zote nini, spinach, managu, ingine ya Kisii, ama ni kule moja moja?
For vegetables we don't have a problem because of even nutrient diversity. Yeah, it only becomes a problem for people maybe with acidity issues and such. But for a normal person, for nutrient diversity, you can mix. One last question.
Shida inakuanga wapi ukikula protein sana unasikia heartburn? Anga wapi?
Heartburn, it's when, you know, there's the esophagus and the stomach. So when the acid is going back to the esophagus, mostly in indigestion and acidity. There are some foods if you eat, they trigger your stomach to produce more acid. Yeah. And also pia tuseme you already have a lot of acid in your stomach. Maybe, yeah, if you already, people are different. Yeah, so there are some foods which are known. For example, beans, sukuma wiki, unaona hizi tubers, ngwashe. There are people who can attest to that. There are people who cannot eat easy ujipawa because of it has ndoma, nini and such. So there are some foods that trigger the production of acid, and then it goes back to the esophagus. Yeah, and also cold foods. Yeah, but I want to just be specific that heartburn is very individualized. For example, an expectant woman, huyu atapata heartburn any other time. Why? Because the uterus ama imekuwa kubwa, sindio? it is pressed in the stomach. So even without eating anything, acid dinner. But if it is frequent, very frequent, you can visit a doctor, because that frequent nini inaweza kuwa ina burn the esophagus. Yeah, and it becomes a problem. When it is burnt like that, kila saa, inaanza kukua hard. You know, it has to, remember propulsion. It has to expand when you are swallowing something big and relax. So ikichomwa hivyo, it loses its ability to expand and relax. Inakuwa hard. So inakuwa na other issues. So if it's rampant, check your eating, and then you can also see a doctor. Thank you.
My question is, why do plant proteins produce a lot of gas? Some people say if you eat bosho, you have a lot of gas. So as we grow old, you try to evade those kind of.
Okay. So foods like bosho, naturally it has an acid with a very simple name called hemagglutinin. Hiyo iko naturally kwa bosho, si ndio? Ni kama cassava, it has naturally cyanide. So that one, if you want to reduce, you soak your beans, si ndio? You soak your beans and throw away the 6 hours or more, si ndio? Or if you want to be more smarter, you can soak overnight. Then you throw away the water. Then make sure the beans are well cooked. So if maybe they add magadi, they want to make the process very quick. Maybe if you have that business, you want to make ive haraka, ndio. Have you removed all the hemagglutinin? No. People are going to experience. So cook your beans well and soak. Lastly, as you get older, your stomach becomes more, you have to be more healthy. Sindio? It has been digesting food since you were born. Sindio? So as you get older, the systems zinaenda zikitaka more recharging. Sindio? So at this time, you have to be more sensitive and health conscious. Sawa sawa. Thank you.